Hey y'all, James here. We back with another book talk. Hey, book, book, book talk. Hey, y'all, we are back with another book talk because I wrote another book and it's coming out really soon. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact that my last book came out in December 5th to be exact, and my next book is releasing January 6th. Not back to back. No Drake. Girl, yes. Book number 8, the title is Faize, releases January 6, 2025. We are starting the year off really strong and I'm really excited about it. Of course, this video is getting into all the things about Faize, and I'm so excited about this book. Maybe I say this every book talk, but I really mean it this time. This is like my favorite book that I've written. Like, I love it so much and I can't wait to talk to y'all about it. So with Faize, y'all, we are back in the Chaney universe. If you don't know, now you know. Chaney is a fictional state created by moi. Chaney is hella black, full of culture, and full of swoon-worthy heroes that these women in this state keep falling in love with. So, we're back in Chaney, but we're in a new city. We're in the city of Terry, which is much smaller than Josh City. It's about 10 square miles. It's composed of a few neighborhoods, and it's mostly known for gang culture. So the gang that you're affiliated with most likely has to do with the neighborhood you grew up in, and these different neighborhoods brings us to our hero and our heroine. Of course, we're starting with the heroine, ladies first. Her name is Desiree. She was born and raised in Terry, Chaney. She has an older sister. They grew up without money. They shared a bedroom their entire childhood, so they are extremely close. They never knew their father. They are only 2 years apart, and Desiree, our female main character, she's the youngest. So her older sister probably lived with her father for about 2 years, but he was long gone after Desiree was conceived. And so they were raised by their mother. Their mother was very emotionally abusive during their childhood, although she probably would say that she was doing what needed to be done. She is the type of mother who nothing is ever quite good enough for her. You can live your whole life trying to impress a person or make a person proud, and they just never give you that satisfaction of letting you know you succeeded in making them proud. That's their mother. And while the older sister stopped trying a long time ago with their mother, she pretty much keeps her mother at a distance. The younger daughter still lives with their mother, and not really by choice. She ended up needing her mother's support because she became a mother at 17. She was swept off of her feet by the neighborhood bad boy in high school. He had a father who raised him in gang culture. He had a father who was a street pharmacist, so he followed in his lead. So he was the kid who always had money, and she was very pretty. He was smitten with her in high school. She loved her some him. He spoiled her, showed her just a life she wasn't really used to. He bought her whatever she wanted, and she had never lived that kind of life before because her mother never had it like that, and her mother isn't the type to spoil her kids anyway. So she just kind of got wrapped up in being doted on by this boy in high school, and she got pregnant at the age of 17. Once she had her baby, things kind of changed with them. He was very much unfaithful, and for a while she endured it, but she just kind of got tired of that. So she officially broke up with him and put her foot down with that situation. But when she did, the spoiling stopped. He became very stingy with his money. She was living with her baby's father when they were dating. When she broke up with him, she had to move back in with her mother, and he only gives her just enough money to get by. So just enough money to buy diapers, just enough money to buy milk, just enough money to pay for daycare, things like that. She ended up enrolling in college a little late. The father of her child pays for her college tuition, but he's very controlling with his money. So he pays the school directly for her tuition. He pays the daycare directly for their daughter's childcare. He denies his daughter any of his time. So at the point that she was disillusioned with their relationship and she broke it off with him, he became disillusioned with the whole idea of fatherhood, so he was no longer interested. He's only a father by biology. He lives a pretty comfortable life, but they do not. And he's also the type who refuses to let her be comfortable in another relationship. If you can't be with me, you can't be with nobody. And because he is this big time bad boy in their small community, most people around there are very much intimidated by him and are not going to pursue her romantically anyway. So she's living kind of a miserable life. The one good thing in her life is her baby girl. She loves her dearly, but she lives with a woman who's always telling her how bad of a job she's doing at motherhood. She has this baby father who she depends on financially, but he makes it so hard for her to ask him for anything. She's always having to humble herself to get what she needs from him, and she's pretty much fed up with the life she's living, but is not quite at a point where she can do something about it. She has a plan. Now we're at a point where she is 1 year from graduation, and her plan is to get her degree in accounting and get a job so that she can move away. She pretty much has her eyes set on moving to Jaimsss City, which is the big city in Chaney. Once she's able to hold down a job of her own, she is going to obtain legal full custody of her child so that their child is not something her baby's father can use to manipulate her. She is washing her hands of her mother once she gets this degree, and her baby are just going to live a nice, simple life and say goodbye to Terry Chaney forever. That's her plan, but she just has to endure 1 more year of her mother and 1 more year of her child's father. After that, it's home free. So that's Desiree. Then we have our main male character, Faize. We call him Faize around here. He was also born in Terry Chaney, but in a different neighborhood. He is gang affiliated, and it's actually the opposing gang as Desiree's baby daddy. He lost his father due to gun violence. He lost his older brother the same way. So it's just him and his mother. He adores his mother. He also has 2 best friends who he cherishes. His circle is very small. He kind of has family that he chose. He has his mother, of course, then he has his 2 best friends, and he also has Big Blue, which is a guy in his community, an older man in his community who's kind of been a father figure to him all his life. His circle is small, but they mean a lot to him. He kind of takes on the role as protector of all of them. He feels that it's his duty to make sure everybody's okay. He did graduate from high school. He was never interested in college. He is also a street pharmacist, so he has a little bit of money. He lives a pretty comfortable life, and he uses his money to take care of the people who mean the most to him. One of his best friends is a girl, and she was interested in college, so he pays her college tuition. So he does things like that. He's that type of person. He's also a very talented fighter. So Big Blue used to be friends with his father. Big Blue owns a small boxing gym in Terry Chaney. He used to train Faize's older brother before he was killed. And Faize's older brother was actually an amazing fighter and getting pretty well known in the underground fighting scene. So once Faize got older, he began doing the same thing, following in his brother's footsteps. He was also a natural when it came to fighting, and he started in the underground fighting scene. So he earned money from those fights, but it was essentially illegal fighting. His male best friend, Nico, decided at some point in his underground fighting career, his other best friend, Nico, encouraged him to make it a legit thing because he saw the talent in his best friend, and he was like, this can be like our meal ticket, you and this fighting thing, but we have to stop this underground stuff and really start taking legitimate fights. So he got into the amateur fighting industry, and he started dominating that. He started traveling to Jaimsss City for amateur fights, and he ended up getting noticed by a heavyweight fighter who was also from Chaney. Now Faize knows this guy. He respects this guy. He respects how he worked hard, made it out of the hood, all this stuff. But this guy, for some reason, just did not like Faize. He felt that Faize was arrogant. He felt that Faize was kind of entitled. He just didn't think that Faize was humble, which might be a little bit true. But because of this, he felt it was his job to humble Faize, which, child. He ended up pulling up on Faize and challenged him to a fight. Of course, Faize accepted. Faize beat him up. And he got hurt pretty badly, the opposing fighter. This guy was 1 month away from fighting the heavyweight champion of the world. So this other guy was on the verge of possibly becoming the heavyweight champion of the world, decides to challenge Faize to a fight, gets hospitalized. Now he can't fight. So the heavyweight champion of the world gets wind of this fight that happened behind closed doors, and he called Faize and presented him with the opportunity to fight him instead of the other guy. The heavyweight champion saw it as a good PR opportunity, fighting an underdog who ended up beating up this professional fighter who he was just about to go head to head with. And he also saw it as an easy win to keep his belt, get the money that was already on the table for the fight. Now the fight doesn't have to be canceled. So Faize does that fight. Faize wins, and now he's an overnight celebrity and millionaire. He's now the heavyweight champion of the world. He went from being an occasional amateur boxer. Now he's the heavyweight champion of the world. He is $80 million richer, and life is just different. That gets us into the plot. He meets Desiree after he's won the fight. He meets her back in their hood on a random night out. Now, Desiree is the type of person who is focused on her kid and her studies. She doesn't know who the heavyweight champion of the world is, and she doesn't care. So she doesn't recognize him when she meets him. But when they meet, the connection is instant. When he laid eyes on her, he immediately wanted her. And she can probably say the same, but also she recognizes the tattoos on his body as being gang affiliated tattoos that are of the opposing hood as her baby's father. She knows that that would be a problem with her baby's father, and y'all know she is trying to tread lightly. She's just trying to coast through this next year. So she is not trying to start a love connection with the man who is just the natural enemy of her child's father. So as fine as Faize is, she is not trying to go there. But Faize don't care. He want what he want, and he's gonna have it. And so from there, the story takes off. Now, let's talk about what you can expect from this novel. You can expect a full-length novel. It's a little over 80,000 words. It is kind of a slow burn. So all my books, for the most part, are slow burns. This one is kind of a slow burn, but I will say that their connection builds a lot faster than characters from my previous novels. But it's still not they meet and get married the next day. That's not what it is at all. I took a lot of time developing these characters. So, as always, character development is T. Clock it. This is a super sweet story. I feel like I say that all the time, but it is. I think y'all gonna love the way that he loves her and love the way that he motivates her to love herself. It's beautiful. This story does have not like a big subplot, but there are sub characters that have a storyline going on that I think really adds to the main love story. There's a good amount of family related drama in this one. Never too much because I like sweet love stories overall, but there is some drama there. Some of the tropes in Faize, I don't want to say it's an insta love story, but there is an instant connection. So that's what I'm saying. It's an instant connection. We have the single mother, abusive child's father. For the male main character, we have an alpha and protector male. It's a small town romance. It is an across the tracks romance. Definitely an opposites attract, and just one of those kind of forbidden romances because, yeah. We have a scarred heroine. She's scarred emotionally from just things in her past that you have to read about to know. And then we also have the wealthy savior trope. That's pretty much all I have for y'all on Faize. As always, I will be doing a paperback and ebook giveaway on my release day. You need to be in if you are not a part of the Be Love Publications Facebook group, you need to join that. I will put the link for that in the description box below. You need to be a part of my readers Facebook group. It's called the Jaimsss Pod. And you need to be subscribed to my mailing list. You need to be following me on all my social media as well. If you read my latest release, Let It Happen, comment your favorite part below. Comment what you thought about that book. If you're excited for this one, comment that one below. Comment green hearts down below because if you haven't seen the cover, it's cute. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.